That's crazy. I've never seen this place so quiet before. It started happening about 2-3 years ago. A couple of new people, I think, bought out this place. Then they started renovating it. As it was getting renovated, prices were going up. A lot of people started moving out.
Historically, people of color have not been represented in the design decisions for Nashville, Tennessee. We've been caught by surprise. I think if students are involved and they're aware and they know what's going on, I think what we'll see happen in the long run is that students will be able to attend those meetings. There'll be some of those who are actually doing design, and there'll be some of those who will participate in the decision making and have a direct impact on what's happening in Nashville.
Welcome to Nashville, where growth has been explosive, with more than 10,000 people moving here each year. The average family's rent rose last year by more than 8%, pushing many Nashville students and their families out of their homes and neighborhoods to the outskirts.
I lived here with my grandma, my sister, and my little cousin. This is where I had a lot of my first experience. Sorry.
This is Carrick Shelton, who should be in college right now. But when rising rent forced his family from his home and Carrick had to change schools, he lost the support of his college counselors and missed his application deadlines.
I expected to be at Arizona State University, a freshman. I want to get an architecture degree. But now I am in an apartment with my stepsister. All I have is my high school diploma. I'm not really in college. My main focus is getting us utensils, getting us food, make sure we have a couch, make sure I have a bed, and paying rent monthly.
There used to be 2 swings over here. There were 2 swings over here, and there were 2 swings over there. There would be so many kids that would play over here, and so many people would walk around that the grass wouldn't grow out. That's how much this area was used. This place used to never be quiet, but people got pushed out. Nobody lives here anymore.
Mina Gamil used to live a 15-minute drive from his school. But after his family chose to buy a home in Nashville's outskirts instead of paying rising rent, Mina faces a new challenge as he tries to finish high school.
I wake up around like 5:15, 5:30. Didn't leave the house about 5:45. Wake up so early so I can avoid like the traffic. If I get out later than that, it takes about an hour and a half, hour, 45 minutes. The hour that I would spend in traffic, I spend it sleeping at my friend's house. I just park right in front of her house, turn my car off. I either watch the sunrise or go to sleep. Today I'm gonna go to sleep.
Mina and Carrick have a better understanding of what gentrification is doing to them than many students do. Both interned at the Nashville Civic Design Center, a nonprofit where citizens can influence the city's design.
First time I met Melody was in my 9th grade year. That's when one of my teachers introduced me to her for Nashville Civic Design Center and their internship, because I was letting everybody know that architecture is what I want to be when I grow up.
Both Carrick and Mina were in our Design Your Neighborhood summer internship. Kids from all different backgrounds and locations in the city were coming together to learn about design. The big idea is to have students involved in making a physical change or having a voice in some built environment decision in their neighborhood.
We were working on the project on looking for ways to help the community around where I went to school, where I still go to school. A lot of people were thinking about affordable housing, but my group and I, we thought of solar sidewalks, which we thought it would help both the community and affordable housing, paying for rent. It would help with global warming.
The center created a curriculum called Design Your Neighborhood that introduces students to the fundamentals of how cities are planned. This year, about 4,000 students in 20 middle schools are designing projects for their neighborhoods. As lead designer of the curriculum, it's Melody Gibson's job to get it to every 7th and 8th grader in Metro Nashville public schools.
We're helping students understand like kind of root causes of problems that particularly influence like a lot of communities that are being targeted for gentrification.
For teachers, like Nashville native LaTanya Davenport, it's a way to give students tools to understand the forces that have shaped their neighborhoods in the past and prepare them to be advocates for their future.
We are in North Nashville. We're in the heart of North Nashville. So this is all a part of the history of Black Nashville. Yes, I'm very, very proud to be a part of that history. Jefferson Street was just epic. It was like the center of Black culture at the time. I can remember as a little girl, just a lot of the names that were big in Black Nashville. They were big for us as people of the community, but they were also big because it was ownership of Jefferson Street. And they owned the business that they had on Jefferson Street. We were able to build dreams because I felt like we were embraced. And it's not always like that now.
North Nashville was one example of how urban planning has really hurt communities. Back in the 60s, when they were putting in the initial interstates, a pretty large exchange was placed just right in the middle of a historically Black community. Think of it kind of like a quilt. It like literally ripped through that quilt.
More than 620 homes, 27 apartment houses, and 6 churches were demolished to build the interstate that dead-ended 50 streets in the business and cultural center of North Nashville.
This street, 16th, would have gone straight over where the interstate is, over to Jefferson Street. And so I could have walked to the cleaners over there. I could have walked to Fisk University. It's still here. They didn't even bother to tear it up and put grass or anything there. They just left it there. But that's a symbol of we don't care about you and you don't matter.
Much of Nashville's redevelopment has its roots in the segregation and redlining of neighborhoods that dictated where Black families could buy homes. Home values were depressed, and now developers can buy relatively inexpensive properties and flip them. Many are building 2 tall, skinny houses where a single home once stood.
We've had a mass exodus of people of color in the last 5 or 6 years. I feel sad. I feel sadness when I walk through and see all of the changes, particularly when I saw my childhood home. That was difficult. I think they finally put something on our lot. Oh my God, it's a skinny house. And they put 2 where there was 1. This was one lot. My house was right here. This was my house. I gotta call my mom and tell her that it's no longer, this place that was home, held all these memories, and now you have these 2, I call them skinny houses. You have these 2 units there, and and you see them everywhere, and the people who are moving in, there's no sense of what was there. As a resident in Nashville, everything that's happening now makes me feel like it's time to go. I can't live and enjoy the lifestyle that I think I deserve after having been a servant here for so long. And so I just think it's time to go somewhere where I can fit in, belong. One of the biggest impacts of the Design Your Neighborhood curriculum is the ability for students to come back and to represent for their communities. I see my students as future leaders. They don't realize it yet, but my message to them would be to continue to stand for what you believe, to not be afraid to advocate, not just for yourself, but for the underdog, for others.
I know students I was with, that's the future of Nashville. They were so eager to change Nashville, to make it a better place for everyone.
I want to go to Arizona State. I am determined to go there, no matter how long it takes. I want to get my architecture degree because I want to come back and actually make my own type of firm that does like NCDC and get more kids involved in architecture. The people that are going to make a more equal Nashville are people like me. I believe it's possible. Is it really hard? Yes. Is it going to take some time? Yeah, but sometimes the best things are worth waiting for.